There's no doubt that mirrorless is definitely growing in popularity. However, it certainly isn't the biggest line of cameras out there, with Canon and Nikon clearly filling that gap. So if you were to design a bag, would you design it for a DSLR and sell more and make more money? Or would you design it for mirrorless, sell less and make less money? Well, of course, you'd design it to sell the most, which is the problem us mirrorless users have. There isn't a massive issue with the sizing of our cameras when it comes to anything other than depth, and depth is the problem. So you can adjust the camera bags and where exactly you can move the camera up and down, but the problem is depth. Sometimes when we put our camera into one of these bags, it simply disappears. For example, when I put my A7R2 into a 450 Pro Tactic, it was so deep inside I could almost fit another 6500 on top. So that is a complete waste of space. Basically, you need a bag that is more suited to mirrorless. The problem you're going to have is that then starts to restrict your choice. One bag that has been working very, very well indeed is one of the smaller bags here by Lowepro, and that is called the Slingshot Edge. This is certainly more designed for mirrorless, and if we have a look here, you can see it even has a picture of the Sony, and if we dive inside, you can see here that actually when you put the Sony inside, it's at a nice level. It doesn't disappear like it's going into a huge bucket. Problem is though, with that, you certainly aren't going to be able to carry a huge laptop around, and it could well outgrow you very quickly if you have a lot of gear and a lot of lenses. So another one that I discovered that is absolutely perfect for mirrorless is this one. It's called the Pro Runner, and if you go for the 350 is what you want if you're using Sony mirrorless. Amazingly, this is a very, very thin bag, and the beauty of that is it's great for not knocking people over as you turn around. I love the Pro Tactic 450 AW, but realistically you look like a Ninja Turtle with your shell on the back. It is just so huge and so deep that you're just going to knock things off tables if you are in a small city centre. The beauty of this one is that you've got almost the same amount of areas to put your gear as the 450, but it isn't anywhere near as deep, and that makes a huge difference. Let's just see exactly how deep it is. If we have a look at the external dimensions, 31.5 by 14 by 46. Let's go now and have a look at the Pro Tactic, which I really do love, especially in the new camo colour that they have. If we have a look at the Pro Tactic, even if we compare like for like and go with the 350, let's have a look what that is with regards to dimensions. 30.8 by 23 by 43. So there you can see the difference. And if we have a look at the 450, that takes a jump to a whole new level. 34.8 by 27 by 48.8. And that's where it really does go to a whole new level. You can see just how far it sticks out from the body. If you need that and you're a big guy or girl, then fine. But I'm a 5'11", and for me it just looked a little bit crazy. So let's leave low pro and go on to the hype train, the everyday backpack by Peak Messenger. Surely this one is the be all and end all. The price is certainly high. Well, I've had both the 20 litre and the 30 litre version of this one. The biggest problem for me was the 20 litre version wasn't big enough for my laptop. If you've got a 15-inch MacBook Pro, one of the new ones, you'll just about be okay. But I have a bit more of a powerful beast. It's still only a 15.6-inch laptop, but it's a Windows laptop, and it isn't quite as sleek as the MacBook Pros, and it didn't fit. Well, no problem, I simply returned it and thought that the way to go would be to buy the 30 litre. And indeed, I was right, the laptop did fit, so the 30 litre does indeed have more laptop space than the 20 litre. The trouble is, there's not really a lot of point getting the 30 litre. Again, if you're a big guy or a big girl, fine, go for it. But if you're sort of below 6 foot, it does look pretty big on the body. And the straps aren't that padded, and they aren't connected at the sides here. They're more connected in the middle, which means the sides kind of bow in if you've got a lot of weight in the bag. The easiest thing to do would be to not fully load it, which is fine. But if you need to go to 30 litre because you've got a bigger laptop, and then you don't want to overload it because you don't want it all getting too mushy on the back, then why are you even buying the 30 litre? And that looks a bit big anyway. You may as well go to 20 litre, but for me, the laptop wouldn't fit. So my advice from you, yes, this is a good bag. There's a few little niggles that I think are going to be sorted in the version 2, but if you do want to go for the version 1 right here, right now, if you're below 6 foot, go for the 20 litre. Just double check that your laptop is definitely going to fit. Let's have a look here and we'll see the exact sizes that will take in your laptop. Okay, so this is the 30 and this is the 20. Let's scroll down. Maximum laptop carry size. See this, it doesn't seem a lot, but it makes all the difference sometimes. 38 isn't really big enough for a 15.6 inch Windows laptop. It's around about 38.5, which is realistically more like kind of 40. 25 and 2.5. So this is, see, my laptop's 38.5 and it was a very tight, so I went for this one and it did indeed fitted perfectly in the 30 litre. So if you've got a 15.6, probably best to go for the 30 litre. Okay, so you don't want to buy Peak Design, you're waiting for the version 2, where else can you go? Well, have a look at this. This is actually designed for mirrorless, so that's always a good tick to begin with. And if we look at the picture, let's see how deep it goes. Perfect. You see, it isn't too deep there, so you're not just wasting airspace by having enough space for a DSLR in regards to deepness. So very good bag. I do like the Think Tank gear, certainly one to consider. Just make sure that you get all your dimensions and have a look at the stats to make sure that you're going to fit in what you want. Well, this bag wouldn't be suitable for me because my laptop simply wouldn't fit inside. So basically, if you take into consideration your laptop and you take into consideration the fact that the bigger the bags get for your laptop, the bigger the bags get in general, especially camera bags. So if you do have a bit of a larger laptop, you end up with a huge bag, which isn't what anybody wants, because sometimes you don't want to go out with all your gear. You just might want to go with, for example, I like to go out into the cities with my laptop and the A7R II with the 35mm 2.8, which is a very small combination, and I certainly wouldn't want to be donning this every time I want to do so. So what did I do? Well, I gave up trying to find a specific camera bag because I went to multiple shops and it was just absolutely impossible to try and find exactly what I wanted. So just go and buy any bag that you want. This one's good. These are the guys that make the Swiss Army knife, and this bag takes my laptop beautifully with superb protection. The quality of the bag is on an entirely different level to some of the other bags. It is just superb quality. And it doesn't look like a camera bag, which is, of course, a huge plus. But how do you put your camera in this bag? Because it doesn't have any areas to protect your bag like a proper camera bag would. Well, it's quite simple really. You just buy something like this, which is a camera insert, and you drop it into your bag. Another thing you can do is, if you just wanted to go out with a 35mm onto the A7R2, for example, you can even just buy one of these tiny bags just to gain the protection, and then drop it directly into your backpack, and then you have yourself a fantastic camera bag. With this particular one, the Deluxe Laptop Backpack, what I actually do is I take the Slingshot Edge, this one here, the 150, which has enough space inside for an A7R2 with the G Master 24-70 2.8. It also has enough space inside here for the A7R2 with the 70-300 G lens. You can put some extra batteries in there in the top, some filters, some cables, and then this bag is the absolute perfect size to simply drop in this area here. It fits nicely. So with that, you have your laptop, you have a beautiful bag that is of extremely high quality and doesn't look like a camera bag, and you also have all the beauty and protection that the Low Pro offers with its built to size areas and padded protection inside this area. And for me, that has been quite the game changer, because it just gives you the best of all worlds and ticks every single box. Well, one other bag. If you follow John Olsen, you will be certainly aware of these little beauties. They are pretty much always out of stock. But if you do want to go the douchebag route, then you can go ahead and get something like the Hugger 30, or there's a new one in town. Let's take a look. And that's the Scholar, and there you go. Technical specifications. You can have a read on there at your leisure. Let's have a quick look at the Hugger 30 litre. This is the Hugger 30 litre. Got a hookup system. Now just bear in mind, a lot of these say laptop fits 15-inch MacBook Pro. Just make sure if you're using a Windows PC that's 15.6, then it will definitely fit for you. And again, same principle, grab one of these and that goes into the actual backpack itself, and that gives you the best of both worlds. So the ideal camera bag may not actually be a camera bag at all. And as usual guys, it's been emotional.